colleges, uh, added colleges, and then your name. So Naman will say Naman. Okay, like that we will be doing. And always create a branch based on main. So while I am reviewing your code, you don't have to mix up with someone else. Okay, chalo. So don't click on initial commits anytime, click on main only unless and until required. And try and keep your pull request short, so don't go ahead and do a lots of stuff. So let me just open up my notepad and I will show you how what I'm talking about. So let's say we have a request. Okay, so the request says that uh, you added a college adding logic. All right, so inside there what you did was you created the logic. Okay, and then you find that you can do something with the database as well to make it faster, like catching it or something like that. Obviously I don't want you guys to go right now and do caching, all that stuff. But yeah, create that logic and then you see that okay, I can change this in the database. Don't do that. You can or do it over here like this. You will want to do it over here like this, saying that created the logic and updated the database. Okay, don't do that please. Okay, instead go over here and say added the updated the database logic. Okay, and then over here I can say that created the logic, updated the database logic. All right, and then in here whatever the changes. Okay, now if there are many very small changes, like you just change the syntax of the code, no, not like that. Say that very small changes like a spelling change or something like that, don't create a new branch for it. Okay, just put it as a alert or something very easy to read and recognize in there. Okay, so let's say I just said from hello there to you change it to hello everyone. Okay, so for this you don't need to create a new branch. Okay, just add in something over here like a line before this saying that updated this text. Okay, and then like this, and try and put in emojis over here. You guys can always put it over here. Let me just go ahead and try something like yeah, we have the crying face. Oh my, so yeah, we can always go put in our emojis and all. So like this only. Once you have done that, all right, now so this is how you will be creating your pull request. I don't want any useless or some very big branches for the same. Okay, now you see, since we all are working on just one file, we want to merge them together, right? So after today's lecture now I will show you how to do that. Okay, for now let's just stop over here only. Wait a second, huh? Okay, so for today, what we'll be doing is we will learn about dynamic HTML and how can we do that. Okay, using our what are we using right now? Node. Okay, Node with some other stuff. All right. Hello. So let's just go over here. Not this. I won't be giving you the initial code for this project. All right. So yeah, I'm trusting you guys, and that is why I'm not asking you guys to send in me the screenshots or something right now. Okay, you will have to update your code and please start creating this, start working on this, because once everything starts piling up now, you guys won't be able to contribute or anything like that. Okay, chalo. So now let me just go back to my OBS and let's go ahead and from here now, this is something for the bash too. Obviously we don't want to dwell in here. Yeah, we will be working over here, right? So let's go back to our blog site and open it with code. Chalo. So we are already over here. Let's just let me just open up my git repo. So yeah, let's just go to our node.js, right? So we have lesson number 4. Not this one as well. Okay. So I guess we did sending file yesterday only. We need to update that with view engines. Okay. Now we were doing some stuff over here, and along with that we were using CSS and HTML for our usage. Now obviously this guy was not working, so we need to delete it. And let's once we delete it, uh, we can now keep it like this only for now. We will add in the CSS folder and all that stuff over here. Okay. Chalo. So right now we are just sending some plain HTML, but we don't want to send that, right? We want to send in something that is dynamic. We want to enter data dynamically. You see this title page head also, we can enter dynamic data over here, and then we should not be minding stuffs, because this head, apart from the title, you see only a title is changed and we can reuse it again and again. So that is why we use view engines. Okay. Now to start with it, let's just close all the other stuff and go to the view engine. So the one that we will be using is EJS. Okay. There is other ones as well. So we have pug engine. Okay, not this. So we have pug.js. All right. Now it is also a view engine. We also have many others. So like some back is there. So back I um, yeah, view engines for Node.js. All right. Now there are many others than just pug and all that we have. I forgot its name. It had that Bulls logo like that something. Yeah, I definitely forgot it. Yeah, let's just stop it over here only right now for now. Yeah, we have, yeah, handlebars, pug and then EJS. So the one that we'll be using is EJS. I have worked with pug, handlebars, the three of them, but I usually prefer to go with EJS. It is small one, and the work that we are doing right now is very light. And since we'll be passing data from the backend, we don't need to worry. So let's just click on get started and start with this. So we'll say npm install EJS. So the first thing that we'll do is npm I EJS. Okay, so that once that is installed, mm, hmm, chalo. So once we have that, Give me a second. I will be back in few minutes. Thankfully, I just realized that I had not actually started OBS. Okay, so what we did was we installed EJS, and we were talking about what and why do we use EJS. So why we use EJS is to insert dynamic data inside our HTML pages. Okay, so now we need to think about middlewares. So EJS for Express is a middleware. Okay, so you guys can create your own middleware as well. So you see we had used app.use, so we can use this very syntax over here, app.use, and then uh, we can just say over here, yeah, we can like say over here, let's just create a function so it will be easy for you. Okay, let's close this. Why? Let's close this one as well. So we'll say const middleware equals to, it's a function, and uh, obviously it does something. We'll say console log in middleware. And then we can now just say middleware over here, and we need to start our server as well, right? So we'll say npm start, and it says start, server started. And once we go to localhost 3000, not 30,000, 3000, yeah, it says in the middleware. Now you see we are stuck over here, all right, and it says nothing over here. Okay, and if we go to the network model, and if I click over here, it says that the status is pending. So we see yesterday we talked about the next middleware, so next is also middleware. So request, response, and then next. Before putting in anything, you will put next at the end. And what it does is it tells that go ahead, skip this function now. Okay, and once you save this and refresh it, yeah, we need to go to our page. So 3000, yeah, now you see it says html.css, and the CSS and favy icon were not found. All right. Chalo. So this is how your middlewares work. And instead of creating one now, we can always go ahead and use some other middlewares as well. So we will say go to Google, and then from there, not go to Google, yeah, we will be using Morgan as our middleware. Okay. So we will say where Morgan equals to require Morgan. So we need to install it first. So what we'll do is we'll say npm I Morgan. Okay. And hopefully it gets installed. Yeah. So let's just hit with once more. Okay, so it did install now. Now you see, we need to specify to the express that okay, this is a middleware and we will be using it. You can always go ahead and put in this something like this. And yeah, we also need to say this, right? So let's just copy it. Not where, say const. Okay, now we can go back to our node, and it says server started. And if we refresh the page, okay, so you see it does not work actually. So the reason for that is we are using an express, and since we are using express to do everything for us, we need to say that you need to use Morgan. So what we'll say is app.use Morgan, all right, and then in here we will say tiny. Now once that is done, uh, we can now remove this guy, and you see inside predefined middlewares we have stuff done already for us. So if I refresh this page, it should use this. Okay, so now you see it says get slash 304 slash css, and then it also shows us the response. So it says 404 is the response. All right, now we can always switch this to dev, and we will get this in colored. Okay, now let's just remove it, and on refreshing it we should get it. Yeah, you see the error codes are in 304 and 404. Now this is happening because we are getting a 304 because these files before being sent are by default tried and modified by express, but these are just plain html files, so they are not modified. So it will send you a 304 for the same. Now this hook inject and all this, where do, what is this? Okay, so it is a vaporizer, so it is coming from this person. All right, chalo, so let's just close this as well, and go back to our console, and we can clear it all this and try and refresh it. Sorry, we were inside our network tab. Yeah, so we need to use some other middlewares as well now, because we want to use EJS. We don't want it to be standing just kept over there, right? So what we'll do is we will say const EJS. I guess is this the way to import it? Um, Definitely not. But still, let me just check it out for myself. Yeah, you don't actually do this. You say app.use, and then instead of saying Morgan dev, what you do is what you do something over here. Now I by myself don't remember what do we do. Yeah, we say something like this: view engine, all right, and then we say EJS. Chalo. Now it should show an error. So it says router.use requires a middleware function got a string. Okay, so now what do we do? Yeah, we don't say use. I guess that we say set for the same. And yeah, we have now set the engine, but we are not actually using EJS for now. So the thing that you need to do right now is just say dot .ejs for all the files. So I will just rename them and we will say EJS, and then EJS as well. So now that if we try and do this, it should show an error. Yeah, it says no such file or directory. And let's just close this as well. Okay, so how do we work with EJS? You see, instead of saying response.send file, what we do is we say response.render, and then you just say something like the file name. So we will say index. So we'll say index.ejs. Now you don't need to say index.ejs. You don't also need to pass this in. Express and ejs, they both handle the same for us. Okay. So once we are over here, I'm doubting my this space part is also going to have some issues. So let's just try and refresh it. Hopefully, yeah, you see it says this is the HTML page. So similarly, what we can now do is we can say response.render, and let's say about.html. Okay. So yeah, now these are some things that we have done. We will also say render over here, and we will say this and this. Okay, and yeah, chalo. So now that this is just very basic usage of our this EJS. So about me, it should redirect us to about us should redirect us to the about page, and then about should stay on about page, and going to some random page, it should show a 404 page. Okay, now let's just use EJS more better. So we'll say we'll create a folder named partials. Okay, and then inside our partials we'll create a new file saying header.ejs. Okay, chalo. Now what we'll do is we will get this head part from here, and we'll paste it in here, and let's just remove the head part from everywhere. Okay, save it, remove the head part from here as well, and save it. Okay, now what we can do is we can use this header in our this part. So in our index about and then 404 page, the way that you do this is that you do that is you say so you need to put in JavaScript actually over here. So how you do that? Yeah, you put in this and then say something like this. Now wherever this is there, EJS will recognize that okay, there is a JavaScript in between this. So we can now say include. All right, then just say the folder name. So we'll say dot slash partials. All right, and then we will say header dot ejs. All right, now you can't put enter and it won't work. So if you have to ever use enter, you will have to create a new line and do something else over there. We will see that part later on, but now yeah, we have our header, and similarly and over here also. So for about.ejs as well, what we can do is we can say something, and then we can add this guy as well. Now it should have the header part for us. So don't we get the header? Okay, it does not have the header. So Partials. Now why does that not work? So do we need to stop our server or something like that? Don't think so. That should be the case. We are not getting a proper head now. Well, that's a problem. Mm, yeah, you see, to include something, you have to say a dash over here. Now to fix or to prevent such future errors, we can always go to EJS snippets. All right. Yeah. So I prefer this one. So EJS language support. Please install it. Okay. And once you have installed it now, all you have to do is, you see, you can just say something like this. So if there is no output, you need to use this tag. If there is some output, you need to use this tag. Similarly, we are using an escape tag and stuff like that. All right. So uh, what we want to do is, currently we want to do this. I don't know why does it say output and escape. Yeah, this is for the include tag, so we will be using this one. So right now let's just go to the index, and you see I have already put that over here, and hopefully now it has a, you see now it has a head and it has the title as well for the document. And if you go anywhere for the 404 page as well, we have proper. All right, no, that is because some errors. If you see over here, and it says XUA compared needed and something like that. But we are not going to browserify our code, so we are not going to inspect about the type of browser that is requesting the page and all that stuff like that. And according to that, now we can send this meta tags as well. But for now, let's not do it, and let's just skip this part. Okay. So that is how you reuse something. All right. So we are currently using insert our data inside the header tag only. So what you have to do over here is, you have to say EJS out. Yeah. So for showing some output, you have to say output. So let's just go ahead and say something like Moheb's blogs. Okay. And then we will have the title part. I would like to put in a separator. So now we should get this title from somewhere, because if we go ahead and refresh it now, it says that error, and it gives an error saying that, okay, see, you see it says there is a problem over here. So inside header.ejs we have a problem over here, and the problem is that title is not defined. And yeah, we will also get the same error in here as well. Okay. Now how do we fix this is, we need to pass in something. So to pass in something, it is very easy actually, and all you have to do is just say over here, you see we are saying render, you have to say title. Okay, now title should not be like that, we will say lost page for the same. And similarly what we'll do is, for the about page we will say about. Okay, and for the index we will say index page. Okay, so now if I try and refresh it, okay, it says cannot create property locals on string about which. So the issue with that, hmm, yeah, control Z this guy, and you see we need to put this inside parenthesis. So I'm going into some kind of hacker mode and try and save it. And now if we refresh it, what is the problem? It says title is not equal to index page. Yeah, you don't send in equal to as well. So what we'll do is, we'll put in this. So now inside object you don't say equal to, you say a colon, right? Yeah, so now the page works. And going to our about page, it gives us Moheb's blogs and then slash about page. If we go to the home page, it gives us the HTML page. Okay, now while you guys have done the index.ejs part, okay, now we will have many things over here. So we will create a new file over here. So a folder first, and then inside that folder we will create some another folder. So for home page we will have some more, and then inside home you guys can add your partial name. So we'll say product news dot eds. All right. Hello. And let's just add in something else as well. So we'll say about. Okay. And then over here we will say people dot eds. All right. So we have two pages now, and now you guys can add in whatever you want over here. So this is how we are actually structuring our folder. So right now what we can do is go to our index page. So that will be our home page, and just like we have done something over here, we can say partials slash, instead of saying partials now, so we'll say components. All right. And the home page component will be kept over here only. So we'll say components slash home, and then slash over here product news dot eds. All right. And inside product dot eds we will have a wrapper. Okay, please make sure that you create a wrapper around everyone, so there is no wrong indentation or something like that. This error is old. Okay, so over here we will say h1 tag, and this is the product news. All right. Now if I try and refresh it, okay, so it says it cannot find the, okay, it cannot find the file include file. Okay, so let's just go back to our this, and so components components, and then in here we have home, and then we have product news, right? So product dash news dot ejs file. Now it should be doing that for us, but some way it is not working. So what can be the problem? Mm,
Sir, S is missing there in product news.
yes,
S is missing in that spelling, sir.
s is
Product
missing.
news you have added now. Okay.
Oh,
Now you
okay.
have added.
I got it. Chalo, it's fixed. Yeah. Now if I try and refresh it, yeah, it says this is the product news. So since we are developing our home page right now, so we will have stuff like this over here. So the about page will be kept over here, and then the required partials like the header and footer. And if they are uncommon, just put them inside the components page. Okay. Now we don't want to add in CSS everywhere. So what we can do is um, create a new folder. Okay, now I will show you how we work with our static files, right? So inside our views, in our partials, in our header.ejs, if I try and link css file, so it will say that there is an error even though it is kept in the very same folder. So I guess I showed it to you guys with a new yesterday only, but just for a small revision we can go ahead with it. Style.cs.
Sir, there is an audio lag. We can't hear you properly.
uh, okay, sorry, I just lost my internet connection. Okay, now I started. Okay, so now it's recording as well. Chalo. Now you see what I was saying was we have created a style.css file inside our public folder. So we'll create a new file as well, and we'll add an images. Okay, and then over here I will just keep a blank dot.
Sir, you are not present.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I want to keep this folder on GitHub. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I created style.css file inside a public folder, and the public folder is at the root of your blog site folder. Okay, so inside that public folder we have an images folder, and since GitHub does not take in account of empty folders, we will keep a blank text file, and we'll say for git to keep. Okay, and in here we will add a new folder as well. We will say styles.css, not styles.css, we will say styles only, and then we'll add our style.css over here. Chalo, now that this one is done, we need to read these files over here. Okay, so what we need to do is just like saying this, we have to say to our express that use our public folder files. Okay, so we'll say express dot static. Okay, and now it understands that okay, these are some static files, then we'll say public. Okay, chalo, now once I save this and try and refresh my this page, okay, still says that we have an issue with style.css. Okay, so this time the style.css was found. Okay, no, it still says it was not found. That is because in here we need to say dot slash styles. Okay, and then slash style.css. Now hopefully it does take in account of our style.css. Yeah, you see it finds the style.css. The status code is 200. The reason it is showing all black is because we did not change the color of the text. So now it says that uh, the text is there, but since it is black, it is showing us nothing over here. So we will go to style.css. We will say color to be white. All right. Now if I try and refresh this, you see it shows everything, and our styles are also being updated. Now that we have done all this, let's just close all this. Okay, and we will go ahead and implement the very same logic that we have done over here inside our uh, inside where our project. Okay, so what we'll do is first we need to go to college website. No, the website that we are creating is Deco College, right? So this is my college website. Yeah, Deco College, and I guess this is, yep. Chalo, now we will open it with code. Let's just close git bash. Okay, and what we'll do is we will refresh. uh, we will take all this, paste it in here, and we will install Morgan and EJS. So we'll say npm I Morgan, and along with it we will also add in something like npm I, we used EJS, right? So we'll say EJS as well. And what else did we install? I guess that's all for now. We did not install anything much. Okay, yeah, we also need to get our this folder. So let me just copy down the entire this folder, views folder. We will just delete this folder right now. Okay, and what we'll do is we will just paste it in here. Now we have all the stuff that we need, and we have our styles as well. Chalo, so hopefully this guy works. Now we can close it and try and run this. So it says server started. Let's go ahead and click over here. Yeah, you see it says this is the product news. Now there are things like 404 for this guy. All right, I guess header.ejs, right? So we have said that inside our public styles and then slash style.css, we should be saying styles.css. Okay, now we try and refresh it. Yeah, we do get a 200 now. Mhm. But yeah, there is nothing in here. So just to test it out, we will say background should be black, and then color. So the text color, it will be white. All right. Let's try and refresh it. Yeah, we get everything. So now you guys can keep your style.css over here. Okay. And since you guys will be keeping multiple different styles, all right, for the same page, mm, what you can do is create a new file, and then instead of saying just styles.css, we will say um, so we have Arsalan, right? So we'll say Arsalan home.css. Okay, like that we will keep our css, then we will merge in our future versions. Okay, all right. So now that I have added in all view.ejs and all, let me just create a new file over here. So git keep dot text, not ext, text. All right, we will just say file for git to keep. Okay, chalo. Now that we have all done all this stuff, okay, we will just close this part as well. And I guess this is a nice backbone for you guys. So what I will do is, as I said, we will be creating new pull request for each and every. So we'll say new branch. Okay, now it will be created based on the main branch. All right, and then we will say name. um we will say name will be what we'll say, added functionality. Okay, now let's just create a branch and we'll say switch branch. Yeah, we'll click on bring my changes to added functionality, and we'll switch our branch. Over here we'll say added ejs. All right, and then now what we can do is type in over here some stuff like added ejs with the middlewares to the express framework. Okay, and then you can also add in something like we can now access static files as well. Okay, chalo. So I guess there is one more thing that is missing over here. So inside of index.ejs now, I want to show you guys how we can use JavaScript for our usage, right? So let's just go back over here to Deco College only. Okay, not over here. I don't want to mess the experience for you. So what we'll do is in here only. Let me just close this guy over here, and we will say in our block side only, what we'll do is open with code. You see now that we are using as an passing in objects, we can now say that this is something. So we'll say const blocks. Okay, so since we'll be using blocks in future, we'll say blocks. Okay, now we'll pass in blog. Okay, we'll say title. So the title will be something. Okay, then a short stuff about the blog. So we'll say snippet, it will also be something. And then we will say the body of the blog. All right, let's just duplicate it, create a comma first and duplicate it. All right, now on saving it, what we'll say is inside title, this is first. All right, this is first snip, and we can now say this is first body. All right. Similarly, we can say this is second, this is uh, seconds snip. Okay, and then we will say this is thirds snip. Right, not third snip, we will say seconds only, right? So because this is, yeah, also we will say body, and we'll say this is third. All right, so we'll say third. Okay, and third body. All right, now that we have this, we need to pass it in over here. Okay, now we can say something like blocks. Okay, blocks will be blocks. Yeah, nothing, not like this, we will say blocks. So since we are using a colon, we cannot just say single word. Now that we have passed in blocks over here, what we can do is, let's just go ahead and inside our index.ejs file, we need to access these blocks, right? So what we have to do is, we have to say uh, yeah, so the block is an array. So how we will be using an array is, so if you see over here, let me just close all the other stuff. You see it's an array, so it's an array, and then there are objects, so these are nested objects inside an array. So what we can do is, we can just say ejs, all right, and then we'll say if blocks dot length, okay, is greater than 0, then only do something for me. So we'll say ejs, all right, we'll say blocks dot for each block, all right, uh, we will be creating something. So first thing we need to do is put in this guy over here. All right, yeah, that is one thing. And we need to do something like this as well. And yeah, there will be an output as well, right? So what we'll say is one more EJS over here, and then let's just close this, and we will say now div dot. So I essentially said div with a class of blog. Okay, we will say, so this will be the main div, and then we will say a. So the reference to this will be blogs, and then slash somewhere to um, like this. So we will say href. Let's just create a anchor tag, and we'll keep an this over here only, and then we'll say we will put in another ejs. So we need an output for over here, so we'll say the equal to part, and then we'll say blog dot title. Okay, now I want my title to be bold, so we'll say h1 for the same. And yeah, now it should look far more better than what we can do is, we can also remove this guy, so it is easier. And you see, we need to close our if tag as well, so we'll close it over here only. Now we have this condition, obviously we can use else with it. Along with this, we will create something. So we will say a p tag is there, and then we'll say ejs out. Okay, and then we'll say blog dot snippet. Okay, so yeah, we said, okay, so we'll say proper snippet over here. Chalo, now that we can use our else, so we just say ejs, close our else block. We will say smaller h3, and then we will say cry emoji, no blocks to display. All right, chalo. So hopefully it works and it does not throw an error for us. Yeah, we need to start our server first. Okay, and yeah, you see it is not styled properly. I will be styling all this stuff myself, and this is coming from the product news, and this is how we'll be passing in data to our front end from the back end. Okay, now that we have done this, we can stop right here for the day. I guess that's already too much to gulp up, and I will stop the recording as well. I will upload this recording. Okay, now I would like to ask you if you have any doubt at this point. Do you have any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? If you don't have, just say no. I won't be shouting or anything.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So instead of pushing your projects with the directly with that .html pages, now convert them to EJS. Okay. And now the problem will be that all of you guys will be contributing to the same file. So the index.ejs file at once. Hmm. Yeah, let's just contribute it at once only. Don't worry about that. I will see how does GitHub handle it, because usually what we do is if somebody is given a page, he will work on the entire page himself. So I've never tried contributing to a same file at the same time. So you guys do that for me, and I will also learn. You guys will also learn something. Okay, chalo. So yeah, if you have yesterday somebody showed me about the colleges and all, right? It was made with Bootstrap. Which
Yes, sir. College Finder section.
Yeah, so I realized that you have not followed the designs that I have given you. So the design that I gave you was something else, definitely. Okay, so let me just add this. So, and publish the branch as well. Okay, and I will create a pull request. Okay, for now. All right, so it says able to merge, and then we have stuff over here.